Hello and welcome back to Harkins Haven for another garden tour. So this is our June garden, and remember that this is our first year gardening, so things are going to look a little non-professional. So let's get started right here. This is our lovely walkway tomato. It's one of several volunteers we've got, and if you can see right in here, we're actually starting to have green tomatoes. This is a cherry variety of some sort, but like I said, volunteers, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. So this section here is onions. That's what these are, and this is our healthiest looking onions of the several sections we've got. They might actually do pretty good. Right here, these plants that you see intermixed, these are carrots. So originally I planted this section in carrots and nothing came up for several weeks. So I went back and I transplanted our onions in here, but apparently the carrots were just slow starters. So there are some carrots in here, and then our cucumber plant that sort of grew into its other space. Let's keep going down this way. So this is what I mean by baby onions. These onions and those onions were transplanted at the same time in the same conditions. So I don't know what the difference between this and that is, because they're literally 5 feet apart. But these guys are not doing quite as well. But we're gonna let them go and just see what we get. This is lettuce. So this is the only section of lettuce that actually came up. I'm not sure what happened to the rest of it, but it looks like we need to cut a salad for dinner tomorrow, and then this should regrow. This section here is all in potatoes. Now we have had some, they're falling over because we had a big storm yesterday, but we've also had some pretty severe bug damage, which is why some of these plants look like this. So this right here is a potato beetle. You want to zoom in?
I'll get a picture.
And no, don't touch the beetle. And the potato beetles are just decimated, and I can't keep up with them. So they are eating our plants. Hi, beetle.
Hi, beetle. Hi, beetle.
Hi, beetle. So both of these sides right here are planted in beans. They did get a little bit of a late start, so they're not ready yet. They're also looking a little worse for the wear from the storm. And if we come down here, this is our zucchini. So we have, this is a zucchini plant, and then I have 3 yellow squash plants. And as you can see, we did not get out here over the weekend, and now our zucchinis are huge. So if they're too big and they don't taste good, we'll just feed them to the chickens. There's about 6 or 8 of them this size down here that I gotta go get. And then the squash, we got to harvest some squash too before they get too big. We're starting to get to the stage where we're overrun with squash. It's awesome. But I have started to see the first couple signs of squash vine borers, so we may start to lose some of our plants to those. We'll see. Maybe this rain sort of held them off for a minute.
What?
This, last time I told you, was a weed, but I decided not to pull it because I wasn't 100% sure of that, and I'm glad I didn't because it's a sunflower volunteer. And it's being eaten by beetles. So we'll see if it flowers or not. So this section here is where we planted our first section of beans, and they are getting close to being ready to pick. Maybe just a couple more days, and we'll have some, they're yellow beans, they're not green beans, but same concept. Here, this one's ready. So they start to look like this. This right here is our cucumber plant, and in true cucumber fashion, it is now everywhere. But we are starting to get lots of these nice big cucumbers off this one. We're eating cucumbers almost every day and still have more than we need. It's great. This right here is my broccoli experiment. They didn't head up in the normal time frame. I guess I planted them too late, but I've left them. I thought the heat would kill them, but so far we're actually getting a broccoli head. So we'll just have to watch that it doesn't sprout on me. So in the massive windstorm from this weekend, our sunflower plant actually fell over. So this is it. I'm gonna try and see if I can stake it up, but it's broken at the roots, so it may not survive. But this thing was pretty tall. That's probably why it fell over. This is our tomato jungle. So I did not get my tomatoes trellised very well as soon as I should have. So they are a little bit overrunning this part of the garden. At this point, I need to get in here and do some trellising and some pruning so we don't lose them, but I just haven't had time yet. But we are starting to get fruit on some of these plants. This row is mostly Romas and Amish Pace, so I don't actually want to prune them too much because those are indeterminate, or these are determinate tomatoes. This row is all of the indeterminate tomatoes, the more of the slicers, so they need to be staked up so they can keep growing and not be this jungle thing right here. But they are a lot of them have flowers on them, some of them have fruit, so we are going to actually get tomatoes. Sunflower?
Yeah.
Can you say sunflower?
Sun.
Come over here. Show me the sunflower. Can you say sunflower?
Sun.
Flower.
Sarah.
Sunflower.
Sun.
Flower. So the last thing growing over here are some of these volunteer sunflowers, and we have several big plants of them, which is pretty exciting. This one's actually started to bloom, so you can see the flowers. And then I have our little elderberry plants, which did survive transplant, which is excellent. And I think that's the majority of what's in our garden this year. So we've started some early harvest, and we will be doing another video on what we're doing with all those harvesting to come. So make sure you subscribe so you can check us out there, and maybe compare it to our May garden tour.
Mama.